Hey guys, how you doing? Today it's all about the brand new Huawei Watch GT6 Pro. Now I've been wearing it for the last week, testing it thoroughly in daily life as well as during sports. Now in this video we will take a look at the battery life, the key specs and the design, the new functions, fitness and GPS tracking, as well as the health features and a few more things. So let's start with the one thing that many of you are most curious about right away, and that's the battery life. Huawei has long been known for building watches with really good endurance, and the GT6 Pro continues right here. With light use it lasts about 21 days and with normal use still around 14 days. If you have the GPS continuously activated during sports, you will get around 40 hours. That is still strong, especially compared to many competitors. And to put it into perspective, the Apple Watch Series 10 manages only around 18 hours in always on display mode, so less than a single day. Here you can clearly see the huge difference when Huawei focuses on efficiency. Charging is of course wireless and a full charge takes about 95 minutes. Now let's move on to the key specs and the design. And the GT6 Pro is a real eye-catcher. The case measures 45.6mm in diameter, is 11.25mm thick and weighs about 54 grams without the strap. With the titanium bracelet, it weighs around 103 grams. With the fluoroelastomer strap, you get down to 79 grams, and with the composite woven strap, about 78 grams. When it comes to materials, Huawei has gone all in on quality. Titanium alloy for the case, you got sapphire crystal glass for the display, and a ceramic back. This not only makes the watch look classy, but also makes it extremely robust. The AMOLED display is 1.47 inches, has a resolution of 466 by 466 pixels, and reaches a brightness of up to 3000 nits. That is really bright, and even in direct sunlight outdoors you can still read everything easily on the display. Now in terms of colors, there are three variants. Now we got this titanium with metal strap, brown with a composite woven strap, and a black with a fluoroelastomer strap. So there is something for every taste, whether elegant, sporty or casual. And of course the watch is also waterproof according to 5ATM, IP68 and IP69 standards, which makes it perfectly suited for swimming and outdoor sports. And now there's also NFC and is compatible with both iOS and Android smartphones. By the way, with the 22mm wide titanium bracelet, you can easily remove the links by pushing in the small metal pin on the backside and taking out the elements. On the side of the watch you will find a button and a rotating crown. Now this lets you enter the app menu, or you can scroll through your notifications and sport modes, and the lower button opens up the sport modes or your wallet by default. However, you can always change this in the system settings and reassign the button. With the GT6 Pro, Huawei introduces some exciting new features, and you get all of the old features as well. Especially worth mentioning is the SOS emergency function with a fall detection. If you fall and don't respond for 60 seconds, the watch will automatically call your stored emergency contact or even the local emergency number. Especially for outdoor athletes or older users, this is a real safety plus. Other than that, you get the usual smartwatch functions like you got Bluetooth calling, notifications, and even the option to reply with emojis or text if you get a message, at least when it's paired with an Android smartphone. With iOS devices, this is unfortunately not possible. The phone function works well. You can either select numbers from the contact list or simply dial them directly on the display. Of course, you got music control, a weather app, compass, timer, and there's an alarm too. What I really like is that Huawei manages to provide all of these features without massively reducing the battery life. Naturally, there's also plenty of watch faces with the GT6 Pro. There are basically three types of dials: those that consume very little battery, some that use a little bit more, and you got something in between. There are analog and digital watch faces. You can even use your own pictures as a background. There are very minimalistic watch faces, and the best thing is that most of them are for free. Now there are also some that you have to pay for, which gives you a even bigger selection, but I personally think that the free ones are already good enough. And of course there's also an always in display mode. Just keep in mind that this will impact your battery life if you use it. Now in the Huawei Health app, there is also an app gallery with additional apps that you can download to your watch, such as a voice recorder, you got a camera control, Google Calendar, fitness apps and games. So there really is something for everyone, even if the selection is not as extensive as with Apple or Samsung watches. Another function that I like a lot are the tiles. These are fully customizable and you can use multiple apps per tile. So you can have your favorite sport modes on one tile or all of your health monitoring features on another. By the way, if you liked the video so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more tech reviews. You will also find the link to the smartwatch down below in the description as soon as it's available to me. Now let's get to the core, and that's sports and fitness tracking. The GT6 Pro automatically recognizes many sports and starts tracking on its own. for example when running, walking or cycling. In total, there are more than 100 sport modes, including special ones such as golf, skiing, triathlon or trail running. One real highlight is the new sunflower positioning system. According to Huawei, it should be extremely precise, and my tests mostly confirmed that. I rode my bike in circles several times and the GPS lines often overlapped. Only in the curves did they occasionally drift apart. In the city I saw some larger deviations now and then, but in the park the accuracy was basically spot on. Huawei claims about 1% deviation, and that matches my experience as well. Another feature that cyclists in particular will appreciate is the new cycling virtual power meter. This allows you to measure your watt output directly without needing an external power meter attached to the bike. That's a big advantage because power meters are pretty expensive. And in my test this also worked quite well, although the watt numbers seem to be a little bit high. Important to know, the virtual power measurement only works outdoors and not during indoor cycling. Then there are the usual functions. You can customize your data on the sport display. There is the smart companion, you got an always on display function, and you also have shortcuts, for example, to your music player. There are also special fitness and running courses with up to 13 different running options. Of course, health monitoring should not be missing either. Now, Huawei has included quite a lot here. You got a heart rate measurement with the TrueSense sensor, which works very accurately in my test. You got a new one, that's the HRV measurement, so that's the heart rate variability. So this one is included, a feature many customers had requested. However, you only see your full analysis after wearing the watch for several nights. There is also emotion and stress detection with an improved algorithm for the emotional assessment. Then we have the ECG function to detect heart rhythm disorders, and there are also the health insights. Now with this one you can see multiple health trackers at the same time, and you get comparisons over the last 7 days. Very practical to keep an eye on your trends. In addition, there's of course sleep tracking, SpO2 measurement. You got skin temperature tracking, breathing exercises, and the Stay Fit app, which we already know from the previous Huawei models. I once again find Sleep Tracker very well done. It shows me quite precise when I fell asleep and woke up, as well as my sleep cycles. You got improvement suggestions for better sleep, there is a sleep score, and in the app you will again find a comparison to other nights via the health insights. Now for my quick conclusion on the watch. So the Huawei Watch GT6 Pro is a smartwatch that mainly stands out for the battery life and the precise GPS. With up to 21 days of runtime, it leaves many competitors far behind, and even compared to the Apple Watch Series 10, it almost feels like a different world when we consider that it only lasts about 18 hours. The design is premium, the display extremely bright, the new sport functions such as the virtual power meter are a real added value, even if the watt values are not always perfect. In addition, there are useful health features such as the HRV measurement, improved stress analysis, and the SOS function for more safety. For me personally, the GT6 Pro is one of the most complete smartwatches on the market right now, so it's ideal for athletes, outdoor fans, but also for everyone who simply wants an elegant watch with a long battery life. It's not quite as deeply integrated into the smartphone ecosystem as an Apple or a Samsung watch, but in return you get independence, especially when it comes to the battery and the GPS tracking. And guys, there we have it for today, so I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace!